Welcome to the Love and Sex Today show with Dr. Doug Weiss. Doug has been healing hearts and relationships for decades. He's helped thousands of people release the shame and the guilt, restoring hope, helping people get free from addictions to enjoy a better sex and love life. Here he is, your host, Dr. Doug Weiss.
Welcome to Love and Sex Today. I am Dr. Doug Weiss, and I am here for our 26th conversation. Today's topic is understanding your spouse. This is so important to be understood. Everybody wants to be understood, yet so few of us are actually trained on how to understand. Today, I want to stop those hours of arguing and staying up late and feeling confused and frustrated and that your spouse just doesn't get you. It may be that it's not that they don't get you, it's that they don't know how to understand you. Today, I'm going to change that. This is going to be something you will definitely want pen and paper or get your notes out on your phone, because I'm going to give you 6 steps to truly understand your spouse. And I mean in a way that they get that you understand them, a way that they feel understood by you. They feel together with you. They feel that they're able to have their heart in your hands and you're careful with it. Well, if you want that today, stay tuned. I want you to go to loveandsextoday.com. Subscribe there, review us on iTunes, and this will be one that this is life-changing. This topic today is life-changing. You want to write a review for us. It helps other people to pick this particular topic, and it gets them excited about it. So also, there's a free chapter on our webpage that you can enjoy. And one of you who writes a review on iTunes will get picked for a one-on-one, priceless conversation with yours truly. And we will get to some topic in your life that may be able to encourage you and strengthen you in some way. I love getting to know you. And as always, there's questions. If you want to ask a question, we're going to start doing that on the podcast in the near future. So we'll have your questions live, and I'll be able to respond to those. That's also on Love and Sex Today. Well, let's get into understanding your spouse or understanding your partner. This actually works understanding your kids. This tool works. This is by far one of the most powerful tools I've ever developed. When you're working with couples who are in pain, many of the couples I work with deal with infidelity, sexual addiction, intimacy, anorexia. There is a lot of pain. They come and they fly in to Heart to Heart Counseling Center in Colorado Springs, and we deal with real stuff, real issues every single Monday through Friday. Okay, and if you need one of those, if you need an intensive or you need to talk to a counselor, just call 719-278-3708. But I want to encourage you today that there is actually a path, a known path to understanding your spouse or partner. Now, to really get the feeling of what understanding means, it means to stand under the other person. It means to kind of feel their weight. And the best way I can explain this, especially in this format, is to take your left hand and just kind of put it straight out and put your right hand under your left hand, literally let it touch, and then hold the weight of your left hand. When you are actually experiencing the weight in your right hand from your left hand, you are understanding. When you can actually feel the weight of that other person's perspective or heart, you are understanding. Now, understanding is not that you're trying to get understood. It's not being defensive. It's not trying to be right. It's not necessarily even agreeing. What it is I'm trying to get to know where you are. I'm trying to find you and where you're sitting and where you're feeling. And when I get there, I've understood you. The facts aren't as important. Right and wrong's irrelevant. I just want to know where you are. Now, men, I am giving you the keys to a happily ever after. If you can understand your wife or your partner, you will have a much better life. And women, this works for men as well. Okay. Men don't have a need to be understood as much and a need to be heard as much. They tend to want to solve a problem. And for men, women love to be understood. They love to be investigated and explored. And then being heard is usually 95% of solving the issues in their life. They're smart, they're resourceful, they don't need your solutions. They need to be understood. So I'm going to give you 6 steps, and we're going to go through these in kind of a rapid format, so you want to pay attention. So when you want to understand your spouse. Now, ladies, I'll tell you this. If you want to be understood, tell your husband that you want to be understood. Say, I need you to walk through these 6 steps. Here they are. I need you to understand me. Do not assume just because you need to be understood, he gets that. He doesn't. Men don't read minds. They don't even read faces very well or body language very well. They're not that in tune with you needing to be understood, just as a general species thing. So, but if you let them know, hey, honey, I really need to be understood. Can we do this together? Then do this. And I would say practice this exercise every day for 2 weeks. Come up with some erroneous stuff and just practice the exercise. Because when you need your spouse to understand you, they need to be good at the skill when you need them in the real life, in the real game. So practice is the only way. I usually tell clients practice this for 2 weeks. Then you're good at it, and then you'll have it for life. So that's my best suggestion on that. Now, the first step in understanding the other person is to ask them what they're feeling. So they're giving you a bunch of information about their day or a situation or about a relationship, and you want to say, hey, what are you feeling about that? Oh, I feel important or unimportant. I feel respected or unrespected. I feel, disconnected, or I feel lonely from that, or whatever. Get feeling words. Now, feelings are not thoughts. If they start telling you a whole bunch of more thoughts, say, darling, I'm asking you what you're feeling. And let that silence be there until they start giving you some feeling words. And if you guys aren't good at feelings, get the book Emotional Fitness. That can help you. This skill is only in one book. It's called The Servant Marriage. Servant Marriage. And it's a powerful marriage book. A lot of life-changing paradigms in there, but it's the only place it's actually written is in that book, The Servant Marriage. Ask what they're feeling. Step 2, ask what else they're feeling. Oftentimes, the first time you say what you're feeling, they'll kind of give you one or two, but say, okay, what else? Now we're going somewhere. When we're talking about feelings, we are going to get to understanding a lot quicker, because you might think differently than you are, but you don't feel differently than you are in that moment in time. And feelings aren't truth. They're not facts, okay? They just are feelings. But if they are really heard, it makes a big difference. So they might start off with, I feel angry and I'm ticked off at this. And okay, what else? Well, I really feel disrespected. My kids don't listen to me, or my boss doesn't listen to me, or I feel unheard, or I feel insignificant. Man, now we're getting some deeper feelings. And if we can get to that, I can find where you are. And once I find where you are, we can be together. It's very, very helpful. So number 1, ask what they're feeling. Number 2, what else are you feeling? Number 3 is probably the most powerful. It's the spine of this exercise. Validate the feeling. Now, guys, this does not mean you agree with their feelings. If your wife tells you she feels ugly or fat, you're not saying, hey, I agree with you. That's not validating the feeling. If she feels alone, you're not saying, yeah, you should feel alone. That's not it. Validating the feeling means you're actually feeling this. You're having a valid feeling. It's valid that you feel insignificant or disrespected when a child talks to you that way, or when a boss talks to you that way. It's valid. What you're experiencing is valid. I can tell you right there, it unlocks doors. When I do this with my daughter, she just shifts. I do this with women all the time. Okay. As a psychologist, I am validating pain almost daily. And it really helps just them hearing it's valid that you feel betrayed or hurt or lied to or confused or overwhelmed. It's valid that you grieve the way you're grieving. And then just hearing that it's valid, it's really a lot of it. Okay. And so number 3 is validate the feeling. And again, men, it doesn't mean you agree with the feeling. You're just saying it's valid that you're feeling that. Now, number 4 is take responsibility. This one only, and I'm going to say only again, only applies if you're responsible for what's going on. So if I do something that really hurts my wife and she tells me she feels hurt, then I would take responsibility. You know what? I'm responsible that you feel hurt. I was 20 minutes late. I was disrespectful. I didn't call or text you. And that was really unthoughtful. So it's valid, that you feel disrespected by me and I caused that. Now, I can't cause people to feel feelings if I had nothing to do with it, okay? I can't cause that ripple if my wife's, family member went off on her for some reason, which it doesn't happen. But if that happened, then I'm not responsible for that. I would just validate her feeling. And then I would go to the next step. Ask what they desire. What is it you desire from me? Okay, maybe they want a hug. Maybe they want to be left alone. Maybe they don't really know what they want, and that's common. And for men too, they might say, I don't really need anything. just kind of happened. And I just kind of felt, kind of stupid or challenged. And that's it. I don't really need anything from you. Okay, great. And, it might be hey, I just really need to be touched. That would mean the world to me. Great. Okay. You're letting me know what you're desiring. And lastly, do it if it's reasonable. I never want to see you again. That's not reasonable. I need you to clean the whole house. No, you don't need some people talk in the word need as if everything they wish for is a need. That's a whole nother conversation. Need is water, food, and shelter, and some clothes. Those are needs. Everything else, desires, wishes, wants. And so you can ask them, what do you desire from me? And if it's reasonable, do it. If it's reasonable for me to give you a hug or a touch, or it's even reasonable for me to let you alone for 10 or 15 minutes, let you have some time to yourself. Understanding, using this tool, I have seen irate women and men feel understood in 5 minutes. When they feel validated and heard, you don't need 2 or 3 hours. What happens if you don't understand is your spouse or partner will begin to escalate, because what's happening is, it's like if you can put your left hand over your right hand, and the left hand is one person, and they want to be understood. They want you to come under and feel their weight. But if you don't, and you actually go above them and, hey, listen to my point of view, then they're going to escalate over you. And then that's what's happening. And that's why you're staying up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, arguing and fussing. I had a couple just yesterday tell me, we were up to 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, they didn't use the tool. Because if he would have validated her pain and betrayal in the first 5 minutes and told her it's valid, you feel betrayed because I cheated on you, they would have been able to probably have a good night's sleep. Validating is so important. This tool, understanding, it's found in the servant marriage, and it's very powerful. It can change your marriage. It can change your relationship. It can even change the way you parent. When I use this tool with my children and just validate what's going on with them, they feel like dad's with me. This works in every relationship. This can really change the way you relate to people. When someone needs to be understood, you go under and you find out what's going on and you validate what's going on, and they feel heard by you, they're going to think you're a rock star. This tool can change the way people experience you. Now, I want you to go to Love and Sex Today. Definitely subscribe, review us on iTunes, practice this at home, and then write a review on how it saved you hours, because I know it will. I've seen it many times. One of you will be selected for a private conversation with myself. That's priceless, fun, and engaging. Also, there's a free chapter on our webpage, and we also have a thing on there that you can actually verbally ask a question so we can replay it and I can answer it on a future podcast. We're looking forward to getting that feature into our program, and I'm very excited. Thank you, and as always, have great love and great sex today.
That's it for our episode of Love and Sex Today with Dr. Doug Weiss. Head on over to loveandsextoday.com and be sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes. When you do, and you post a review on iTunes, some lucky listener is going to win every single month a private confidential coaching call with Dr. Doug Weiss. Also, feel free to ask any question you like. You can push a button, speak your question, and Dr. Doug will answer your question in a future episode. So be sure to subscribe to the show. Doug's got some great gifts for you, and we will look forward to seeing you next time.